So I've got another track breakdown, another one of my own tracks, obviously, and this one's called Brand New. It's out on Dirty Dungeon Records. Come out a few weeks ago. This one in particular is a little bit more of a bassy sort of driver. With all those like skippy kind of beats. And I chose to do this one specifically because I did have a request. Someone asked, they wanted to know about the drums in this. So we'll go through it. I have mentioned in previous videos before, but I'll mention it again. This track, as you're going to notice, is going to sound quite a little bit muddy. And that really, I don't mix my projects at this stage. What I do like to do, as you'll see, is I like to get the idea together, get all the elements and that I want to use in the track, arrange it out, do anything necessary for it to get to a finished sort of level in regards to, say, like the arrangement. And once I'm happy, I will then resave the project, bounce everything down to audio, and then go into, like, say, the mixing process. So this is just more the getting together of the track, mainly to focus on, say, the drums and the MIDI and this sort of process. I will do a mixing video as well, but for this one, we'll just keep it as this. I mean, I'll try to keep these videos as reasonably short as I can, really, because as I've mentioned before, come on, man, if we open up, if I ever open up a YouTube tutorial and it's longer than 20 minutes, half hour, I'm just... But okay, so I'm going to dive straight in anyway to give you a quick taste of the track. Some of the arrangement, very minor adjustments on the arrangement, may be slightly different to the final one. But again, as you're going through the process, you know, slightly, yeah, you all know what I mean. I don't have to explain myself. But what I'll do, I'll dive straight into it. Let's just get a bit of an active bit of the track, say here, because looks like there's quite a few elements in here. Right, so we've got a kick drum. Nothing special there, as you can see. I've just dragged it over, which is quite different for me normally, as I like to do most of my stuff in using the simpler, because I like all the parameter controls you have over here, which I've again mentioned in a previous video, and I'm sure I'll mention it again at some point. Kick. Where was that from? Pretty heavy kick, and for quite old school, dirty sort of feel to it. Down on the bottom there, if you look down here, the dance mega drums. Yeah, but it's got like a quite raw, dusty sort of feel to it, dirty sort of feel. There, and then moving on, we've got the ghost kick. I don't know if it is actually referred to as a ghost kick, but that's what I've called it. See there? So if we just have a look at that on here, bass drum, I think it'll be at the same pack actually. Yes, it is. Here, I haven't bothered to change the voices to 1, which is something I would normally do. Snap is on, which is something I normally turn off. But again, obviously, during the process, I must have just felt that, like, yeah, that's fine, it works. As you can see there. Let's go down to here where it looks like there's a bit more going on. Yes, it's just got that groove. Now, there is a groove there. Let's just open that up a touch. Here we can see what we use in the MPC 4000 this time, 71, so that's got quite a lot of swing on it. Moving further down, we've got a snare. Oh, well, hang on, let me just do something. I should have done this earlier, sorry. But let me just turn off the solos, and we'll bring everything in by unmuting it. Because when you find you soloing stuff like that, if you just want to solo one element, then you take that solo off. You then got to go through it again and start soloing all the individual elements. So what have we got in there? We've got a snare, which is as it is. It's right there. Let's have a look where that drops in. Right after the kick on that second division. It's on C3, which means it's just at its original tone. Same groove. The drums, all my drums will be on the same groove. The only time that will ever differ is, let's say, for instance, I've got a hat on the 16th, like a sort of effect. If you then apply a groove to that, it can really throw it, which will lose that directness. But in most cases, all of my drums will be on exactly the same groove. The way I like to look at it is, think of a drummer. If you've got a drummer playing a set of drums, they're not going to be playing in two different grooves. Or maybe they are, I don't know. But either way, in my case, I won't. I'll always have the same groove. So that there, still got the snap on. Haven't done anything in the parameters. Just gone with how it sounded, really. I mean, if you're happy, you're happy. What we got next down here? Okay, so we can see we've got the snare there, the second snare that's come in on the 4th division, just before that second beat, and just on the second, on the 4th beat. Again, same groove. Let's have a look at it. No change on parameters or anything there. Let's have a look at this. Another snare. Just close those as well. You can tell this is really early in the process for me because I ain't coloured anything in. And when I opened the project earlier to just like make sure it was all right to do this recording, I seen all these colours. I was like, whoa. I'm very sort of like, I'd say OCD. I just like stuff neat. You know, I do like to get all my stuff sort of organised. Just really helps with workflow. So you're not having to like spend time going up and down trying to figure out what each sound is. Let's have a look at the MIDI on that. So if we break it down, actually, sorry, my bad. I kind of skipped past that. What we got there on the velocity. If you don't know how I'm doing that there, you know, you've got the velocity control down here. But if you hover over the note itself and hold Command on Windows, I believe it's Alt, but don't quote me on that. See, that one's on 93 and that one's on 70, so you're going to get that movement. Let me just go back up to the top on that one as well. That one's on 70, and let's have a look at the kick. That one's just on 100. But on this one in particular, 74, 67, and 93. Same groove. What we got next, we've got a clap. So I've bounced this for some reason. I can't imagine why. See that there, looks like it's getting a bit of a clip. But that's just on your standard 2 and the 4. Let's have a listen, because we'll be able to tell if it was on a groove from here. I think it is, but have I just nudged it? That's probably why I've bounced it down to the audio, really, to tidy that up. Maybe. But as you can see, it's just pretty standard clap. Anything on the processing? Nope, nothing on there. Hi-hat. Quite a really raw sort of hi-hat that is, isn't it? Yeah, that's how that Make More house pack. That's, if you can get your hands on that, that's some raw bits in that, for sure. In that pack. Just on the standard offbeat. Yeah, just having a look to see if it changes anywhere else. Nope. What we got down here? on the grid. Maybe I played it and didn't quantize it, but it sounds fine. So that's all that really matters. No changes on any of the parameters. It's really gone raw on this one, hasn't it? Hi-hat too. Ooh. Sounds like that's got more of a little bit more of a shuffle to, has it? No, just as a layer. So they're all working together. That one hi-hat in particular, this one, I really love the 707 for that in particular kind of hi-hat that only ever comes like once every bar. Hat hit, what we've got on here. Okay, so that's just kind of add with the groove of the track. So we've got one on the clap. Anything in particular on it? Nope. What we got down here? Hat push. Sounds like that's just. Oh, okay. That's what we've done there. See, it's actually on the 16th. Groove is applied to that if we solo it. And the hi-hat itself, yeah. Haven't gone into any sort of changes on the parameter again with that one. Let's just listen to the hi-hats. Yeah, just giving it that push, isn't it? Check it out. Yeah, it does make a big difference from the push of the drums. Sometimes as well, just having that high frequency. I mean, it's not even really that high, is it? Yeah, all right, it is. You know, having the hi-hat on the kick and on that push, or even on the 8s, can really give your track a push. I mean, you can hear the difference. Next, we've got the perk tam. And that there, velocity. Oh, yeah, sorry if I didn't mention. See on there, that is the velocity change. Look, 30, 62, 30, 62. So obviously I've just duplicated it over. What's that, tabla? Yeah. I do remember in the mix in particular with that, definitely pan that quite far to the left. Velocity hitting about 72, and of course, same groove applied. And then what have we got down here? We've got a loop. Let's have a listen. Oh, it's quite interesting, that was. On its own, it sounds like it's jolting. It sounds like the. Yeah, it doesn't sound like the loop's pretty tight, but let's listen to it in context. Yeah, it's just kind of filling it out a bit, isn't it, really? Oh, I've applied the same groove as well to the audio. That can be temperamental when it comes to applying groove to audio. Because it just depends on how the audio is and the transients and how clean the sample is and on how well that does it, and also obviously like the elements. So sometimes I'll just try applying the groove to it. If it sounds good, rolling. If it doesn't, one other thing I do tend to try would be to highlight. Just click down here in your audio sampler, highlight everything, and then quantize it to the 16th. Sorry, I don't normally do it this way. Oh, there it is, quantize settings. Over here, 16ths, yeah, apply. And then apply the groove and see if you get a better result. But obviously, again, if you get a decent result first, then you don't even really need to do that. But those are just two alternative ways of, you know, accomplishing the same thing. And there's the drums. I mean, if anybody would like to see the mix, and say the further processes of this track in particular, just drop a comment below, and you know I will do it. I mean, because if anything, I'll probably just do another track. Well, I will do another track unless anybody asks. So there's our drums. Next below we've got the vocal. Now with the vocal, I'll show you some of the stuff I've done here. So the vocal itself is. See, so you can hear the vocal. Oh, what we got on there? The little plate. I imagine there's some automation on that. Let's have a look. No. Okay. Maybe not yet. Maybe further on. But that's all it is there. So it starts off with as the track's coming in. And then at this point, let me just turn off the automation. I've just gone in, chopped it up. And then it switches to a triplet groove there. And then obviously I've just kind of chopped it up a little bit there just for the benefit of the drop. What was that little snare there? And look, that's just your basic layout, really, of the snare, isn't it? It's just on each division, and it's all to do with the groove. Like, so, if we turn the groove off, just straight, it's the groove is everything. To give it that movement. And then as it goes through, and then what have we done down this bit? So that, right, how would I have done that? Let's have a look. Should we take the warp off and see what happens? Yeah, there you go. All I've literally done is drag it out. So we've got your little chops there. And it looks like, yeah, I've just nudged it slightly off the grid there to try and replicate the groove, I imagine. What would that be doing? Oh, that'll be in context with everything that's going on down here, but we'll get down there. But yeah, so what I just did then, I've come in and I just took off the warp. So all I've done is, if you grab, we'll just grab this here, and as long as your warp's on, I've clicked on it, and if you hold shift, as long as warp's on, if you hold shift, you can just click on there and just drag it out. Let's have a look. Oops. Now it sounds like that because we're on beats here in the warp mode. If we change that to, say, tones or texture, and that sounds more like it, doesn't it? Let's try texture. Ooh. Oh, man, hearing that, I wish I'd done that in the track. but it's obviously the tones one, isn't it? And then what I've most likely done as well, actually, I don't know, because if I take warp off, it shoots back to where it was. But that's how we've got that, what would be referred to back in the day as the Kaiser effect. So when they stretch the audio, let's just get rid of that there. And as you see, what I've done is it's on a bit of a weird timing as well, isn't it? Because it's kind of like, bam, kind of drops, like it almost sounds offbeat, out of time sort of thing. But I like that kind of crazy shit, to be honest. And then all I've done there is, looks like I've just got that and duplicated it out. Yep. Again, just for the effect. I believe, if I can remember correctly in the tune, the reverb opens up there to kind of soften it a bit. Almost like, let's see if we get the result. Maybe not. But there's that vocal effect. And on that channel, it's just pretty much the same thing down here as well. But I've just done it with a clap there. Whoops. Yeah. That's about it of anything worth mentioning on that. Yep, that again, that's fine. What have we got below? Let's just close that one. Let's close that one as well. Vox 2. Ooh, oh. What's that? Listen to that. I think that was just in the sample. If I remember correctly, that was just in the sample that was. What I've done here, look, this is something they do in the mixing stage. If you notice, it's focused on just the left side. If we take it off, see, we're just getting that left side. And have I got a... Let's have a look. Oh, if you want to know what that is, that's the Oxford limiter. I always just put that on the master just to get a vibe. Because when you just turn it on, when you put that on your master, I mean, and you just lift that enhanced curve, it's just like, you're just getting a vibe, just gives a vibe to the track, and that early on, so I don't have to feel like I need to go in and start mixing everything way before, before it's time to. Yeah, but what I was going to do on the master there was I do like to use this Brainworks Solo. It's a free download, this is. I'm sure it's a free download, so I definitely recommend grabbing it. It's just really good for like your mono signal. Let's have a look. So in mono, see, it sounds good, but you do lose a lot of that left side and that stereo image of it. But on the utility, I'm focusing just on the left-hand side. And when you listen to it mono, you've got more of that full sort of sound. And to be fair with it, for its purpose in the track, it wasn't really losing anything. It was all gained from the process. And then I'd have most likely sent it to reverbs and delays and stuff anyway, to kind of get that stereo sort of image back. Yeah. So yeah, that's the Brainworks BX Solo free download. What's really cool about it as well is when it's on your master, you can reference your mono signal, but you can also reference your stereo image as well. Raws, yes, so further down, and then after waves are coming again. Yep. Now further down here, what's next? Let's hear it. What we got going on here? Oh look, really boosting those frequencies there, aren't we? It really sounds like I've pitched it up. Yeah, pitched it up by like 5 semitones there. Let's have a listen. Obviously, when we bring the bass in a minute, it'll probably come more to life. But yeah, nothing really too extravagant. What is this down here? That's almost like the reverb, isn't it? It just sounds like the reverb of the track. Or I've layered it and put something on it. I'm so sorry. Was it bounced? I don't know. But that's just in the background, that is. I mean, it'd have been much lower than that in the mix. It's just to give it some more atmosphere in the back. same vocal and elements of that same vocal, it kind of keeps it in context with the tune. Other things I like to use for like atmosphere, and that might be like a vinyl crackle, or there's one that I use which I'm quite surprised isn't in here. It's actually like a recording of a train station, Paris to be precise, and it's just noise. You know, it's life. Right, onto the bass. Oh, and I mentioned this before. Let's have a listen to the bass. And on that, I've used the soft tube emulation of the SH101. I did mention this in my last video. Soft tube. If you haven't checked out any of the soft tube plugins, I mean, all their plugins are really good, but the synthesizers, definitely just check them out. If you like it, roll in. If you don't, well, at least you know. It's almost got that Reese sort of feel to it, hasn't it, really? I don't think I did much to that. I think it was very a preset, and I've just probably adjusted the frequency and resonance to sing the track. Let's have a look at the MIDI on that one. Solo. Okay, let's just check the portamento. Sorry to keep going backwards and forwards. No, there is no portamento. But we've definitely got that sort of glide, haven't we? I guess probably because it's monophonic. See that how it overlaps? That's how it doesn't go do do. So if we take that away, do 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 do, but because it's overlapping, goes up. It's almost like a pitch bend. I've even applied the groove. Now, when it comes to applying the groove to your bass or any other sort of melodic elements, try if it sounds good, great. If it doesn't, probably just keep it straight, because I have encountered situations where I've applied the groove and it's taken away from what it is. So ended up just like taking it off then. But yeah, definitely check out those soft tube plugins. They're really good. I don't think there's anything on this, is there? Is anything even on that channel? Audio. Maybe I was going to use it to record anything in. I'll tell you what's a good little tip if you're not sure if anything's on a channel. Is that going to show? Come on, get off. Look, as I've highlighted it there, if there is anything on there, just want that control surface down the bottom to move time selection. And that there, if I do it on here. Oh yeah, it does. Oh man, must be on the other Ableton. It used to tell you at the bottom if there was any clips or how many clips were highlighted, but on here it doesn't. So, external in. Oh, okay. Oh, I wonder if that was for some of the next. I'll just delete that off. It doesn't really have any use to us. What we got here just looks like an effect. Quite creepy. And I've just sent it to the Ableton standard delay down here. Anything on the channel? Oh, chuck their reverb on it as well. Perfect. Let's hear it in context. Ooh, what was that? Ooh. Oh, just the end of the bass. Boom. We'll hear it in context with everything else going on as well. So hopefully it might make sense. Oh, I love crazy shit like that. And then what we got going on here. Let's hear this. It's like a bass sample. Where's that from? Sounds of Blank. Got some good sounds I have. Sounds like I've stretched it. Yeah, let's go into it. Yes, I have. Take off the warp. So that's what it was. Just a boop, boop. I've also pitched it up here, one semitone. And if we take the little pop on the end, we would have got rid of that at some point. So let's hear it in context with everything else there. Ooh, see, it's all, everything's context in music production. Now here we got some craziness going on. Don't ask me. I remember somebody even asking me, man, they're like, how on earth would you program that? And like, here's the video. So what it is there, the bassline, please don't rate my pronunciation of this. Is that butchla? Bassline? Look at me trying to sound all posh and that. Bassline. It's butchla. But have I got it here actually? Is it on there? Yes. I think it's Arturia. Yeah, it's this one. You can really get some really weird sound. It's quite difficult to program, this is. Or even control. Anyway. But what I do like to do with it is, because it's got some really interesting, like crazy, quirky kind of sounds, is even just get a little bit of it. And I imagine I'd have gone wild on the stretching again. Let's see if we take the warp off, because that's when you'll know. No, not necessarily on there, but there would have been some stretching in there. See, there's a stretch. Take the warp tones again, yeah. So that was just, and I've stretched it. Kind of gone back into what it was. Sent it to Ableton's reverb. Oh, let's listen to that with the vocal. And then it drops in. And what's next under there? Oh, yeah, there's a little bit of it as well. All we've done there, all I've done there is, see, I've stretched it out again, because if we take off the warp, yeah, was that, but it would have been deep. I just put a fade on it, so now it's almost created like an uplift, a sweep sort of effect. And is there anything else on there worth? Sorry, let me just get rid of that there. It's taking up too much of the screen. Nothing else really there. The butchler. The people who made it are probably thinking, what an idiot. Let's have a look. So it looks like, is that the right one? Let's have a look. Is it the bounce 250706 076? Yes, so I've taken some bit of it. Should we press play on that? Should we see what it is? Yeah. So that's just that sample chopped up. Let's have a look. Is there anything interesting in there? I haven't put the groove on that. That's the first thing I noticed. Let's just fold it. Turn that off. So, oh, it looks like I did some other stuff before, but decided not to go with it. There is some velocity change in that on and here, and you can see there's note length as well. It's almost like a Morse code sort of effect in it. It's just all the craziness. Let's have a listen. I think that says, let's have a listen. Let's listen to it in context, see what happens. You just come from here. Let's see how it all comes together. Sent it to Ableton's reverb as well. does sound muddy, doesn't it? Okay. And then what I've done, I've taken it one step further. Here, let's have a listen. And then made a melody out of that craziness there. Have a look. Note length. See, the note length is everything to that. If I highlight everything and just press legato. So obviously, all that's done there, that's forced the note length right up to the other note, which can be really handy in some situations. But obviously, the point I'm making is how much the note length makes that melody. Because it's not even a melody; it's more of just a rhythm, isn't it? Because it's not like I'm changing any keys. But because of the sample itself. But it's just made everything from that, hasn't it, really? So let's listen to it all in context. Yeah, should we come from here? What we got on here? Just really pulling that out. So to have a dip there. It'd have probably just done for that point. LFO. Just taking away that initial hit where the kick is. Yep. Oops. A bit too far out there. That synth that I tried to pronounce earlier. Let's have a listen to what is actually on it. Not really relevant. Anything else below? Nope. Nothing on there. Should we just delete that then? So down here, this is a breakdown. This is the breakdown there. So I'll do a little bit of a probably unexpected switch up here. Let's listen to it in context. Turn that view shelly off. So here, what we got there, let's just focus on this channel first because they're all just layers of this one. Same melody. Turn them. I should just solo it, shouldn't I? Everything's at just max there, isn't it? Yep. There's just your melody, and then here. There's no sustain on that, so you can't even hear it anyway. But that would have probably been the melody, or the sustain would be more relevant to the other sounds. And like I said, I actually, when I opened this project, I thought, because I definitely used the Anna. That's what it's called, isn't it? Let's just put in Anna. Yes, this synthesizer. This is the one that I used for all the other layers. This one. Slate Digital, Sonic Academy. It's cool. It's good. I like it. There. So where's the other layers? Let's see what this one does. Actually, that might be the buckler, that one I tried to pronounce earlier. It's got that same sort of tone, character to it. Definitely used the Anna for some of it. Well, I think it was this one that was the Anna. Got myself like that. And as you've noticed, like, I imagine you've noticed, they're all just... on its own, it sounds rubbish. In context, just the layers, isn't it, really? Giving it more depth. And then let's see what happens here. there to just, you know, sustain out. What's this one? Don't ask me what goes on in my head, man. And then into the drop. What is this one down here? Oh, I think that. Yes. So what have we missed here? What is that? Let's have a look. Looks like that. Oof. Reamp. Oh, I forgot about this. I got this. Who makes this now? Oh, we're sampling. You've got to give him some props, ain't you? Let's have a look. Oh, yes, that. Yeah, let's have a look. You got to give him some promotion, ain't you? I do like that. It's really nice. It's, as you can tell, it's like an amp, and you can change. You know, it's all. But again, well, it's almost like a saturator, isn't it? Sort of distortion-y. Well, yeah, you can. Sorry, I'm not the best at explaining stuff, innit? Just kind of get an idea of how it sounds. Guitar tube clean. Oh, okay, yes. Oh, so it's an amp, basically. What's the company? Let's have a look. Reamp. Reamp, yeah, that's... It's in that funny name, isn't it? Sorry, not funny name. I didn't mean to say that. I mean, that's it. Clevgrand in here. They make this cool compressor as well. It's really good. You kind of visualize it. So if you're not really too sure what compression's doing, to be fair, it doesn't even matter if you know what it's doing. It's how it sounds, doesn't it? But it's good. It's a good compressor and a really nice amp. Let's hear it without it. Just giving it more thickness, isn't it, really? What's that? Was that stretched? I don't know. I might have bounced it. Let's see what it is. I wonder if that's the Hydrosynth. Sounds pretty mad, doesn't it? It's all just to pull everything together. That's what the effects do, anyway. They're like the glue. Is there anything on that channel? Nope. Get rid of that then. External in. So, you know, I'd probably... I wonder what I'd have used for that. I reckon it would have been that. Maybe the Orbit. And then what have we got down here? Dude. So, let's just... Sounds like that's been reversed, doesn't it? Tone. Oh, so it's definitely been stretched out again. Let's reverse it. Is there anything before that? No. So, yeah. Reversed and stretched just to fit. That good, I used it twice. And then, oh yeah, we covered this one, didn't we? Has that been stretched? No. But yeah, that's it. There's not really anything else to the track. I think probably, in my opinion, some of the most helpful bits from that might be the drum programming and stuff. And like I said, if anybody would like to see the mix for this, just drop a comment or drop me a message and I'll happily do a video for it. The full track is everywhere you'd expect it to be, I guess. Beatport, SoundCloud, Spotify, TrackSource, all of that. Even on, yeah, my SoundCloud just said that. If you want to check it out and that as well. And feel free to check out any other tracks on Dirty Dungeon Records as well. few releases up there. But yeah, that's really it. I guess that summarises that project. If any little bits are helpful to anyone, great.